Welcome back to another video of Brotato. Today we are going to be playing the Soldier. He's a very special character. Basically, we are rewarded for standing still because we get additional damage percent and attack speed when we do stand still, and we also cannot attack while moving. So very strange, right? We also have a bit of speed, pickup range, and a ton of knockback. So there are a lot of weapons you can go with, I'm sure. Personally, I think the double barrel shotgun is one of the easier ones to use. You can also use SMG sometimes, but it's a bit difficult for beginners in my opinion, because the SMG is not that great against bosses. Um, yeah, basically, that's it. That's the main reason actually. There are certain bosses which will just continuously move at you, and you are pretty much forced to well, with the SMG, since the fire rate is so fast, you don't actually get to stand still very often. Otherwise, you lose a lot of value or impact. Range damage is great, by the way. While as with the shotgun, we have such a long cooldown for 1.37 seconds, right? We can only attack that often. Which means once we attack, we can actually start moving. So in between not being able to move, we are allowed to, or sorry, while we are waiting for our shotguns to be ready again, we can actually move quite a bit. Also, shops 1 and 2 should only really roll for shotguns, that's why I didn't buy these two. Actually, I got quite unlucky and didn't find another one, so I have to just go ahead and continue. Yeah, you can see in between shots I can kind of move. There's no specific way to really track this, just move a bit and then let go and let yourself shoot. And that's it. Very simple. And yeah, easy enough. If you can stand still, you can just go ahead and, well, stand still, no big deal. We also want to get a bit more range damage or crit chance. This is quite unlucky, I haven't found anything. Okay, well the game really wants us to take crit chance, we're just gonna go ahead and take it. It's unfortunate here, because I really wanted to get 2 shotguns. I am just going to reroll and lock another one. So next wave we will have 4, and then we can just go ahead and buy the items as well. And for now, we can actually just stand still. It is wave 3, so I'm not too scared. If you want to dodge projectiles, I kind of had my hand off the keyboard there, if I'm being honest, so I didn't really hit that. I also want to go for these trees if possible. Trees can drop blue crates. The base chance is 20%. That can be modified a little bit if you have luck. Attack speed, great, tier 2. We don't need elemental damage. Lifesteal can be okay, but it's not really that valuable. Oh man, the game is not being kind to me today. I'm actually going to just go ahead and take the HP regen then. You might be wondering, why are you rolling so much, right? What are you really looking for here? Mostly just range damage, but I haven't seen any, so it's a bit unlucky in my opinion. Or just a tier 2 damage upgrade. Would have been damage percent, attack speed, range damage. All 3 of these would have been great. Even a tier 2 crit upgrade would have been great. Would have been happy with any. But we got offered a lot of defensive stats, so I just went ahead and regen it. And you can see, I'm pretty much just standing still at this point. Shotguns do a pretty good job of clearing out big clumps of enemies, and you can also move with them. Well, you can move a bit like this, right? And you don't get punished so much as you would with the Get more range damage finally. I didn't have to roll for it. I actually just got it. I can go ahead and buy these 2 items. I've had them locked for 3 shops, I believe. You see, now we have 5 double barrel shotguns. They are a very expensive weapon. That is part of the reason I haven't been able to get them yet. Many other weapons, by stage 5 you'd have 6. Shotgun's a little bit more difficult. We also did get a tiny bit unlucky with our rolling and our upgrade rolling. So this run is actually starting out, I'd say, pretty unlucky. So that should mean, hopefully, your run is going better than mine. But even with this sort of luck, I'd say this shouldn't really be an issue. It should be just a win. We do want to be a little careful, right? Don't get hit by anything that we don't need to get hit by. And that's wave 5. Super easy. More range damage. There we go. That's exactly what we want. And more range damage. Again, we do lose a bit of knockback, but the damage is definitely worth it in my opinion. And we get a double barrel shotgun and a butterfly. Definitely lock the butterfly. And now that we have 6 weapons, it's a lot more viable to just stand still like this and not really get hit. So, yeah, how was everyone's day? Maybe if you have time, you can share how you're doing, or, you know, share how you feel about the soldier. Oh, whoops. So there's this small bug. I don't know if it's with Brotato or with me for some reason, but if I stand still for too long, and then I press a movement key, it doesn't actually move. There's a slight delay. So I don't know if anyone else experiences that. For example, if I sit here for 10 seconds and then I try to move, let's say there's a projectile coming right, I try to move here. See, I pressed the W about half a second or a second before I actually moved. So I don't know if that's a bug for me or everyone experiences that. I'm actually curious about that too, if anyone wants to share. They also have that issue sometimes. Losing range is not good. We actually want to have pretty high range. The sharp bullets is pretty good. However, we do actually have 2 piercing on our shotguns. We really don't need to get additional piercing. That's just built into the build I've come up for you guys. So don't worry too much about that. Also, crit chance. We have ×2 critical damage. So crit chance is actually pretty good. I'd say taking crit chance is worth it. Crit chance here, great. Then we get another shotgun, one more reroll, more knockback. I am going to buy that. The boxing glove actually used to not give any melee damage. It only gave crit chance at one point. But for some reason, they just added melee damage to it. I'm not sure why, what they were thinking. Maybe they just felt like it was too weak. But yeah, in this case, I usually say knockback's not good. On the soldier, knockback is great. It will keep everything except for pretty much bosses, everything but bosses, from getting near you. You definitely want to take knockback and not lose any of your knockback if possible. But yeah, how do you guys like, if you've seen other of my videos, which one of the characters did you find the most interesting? I'm also curious about something like this. Because personally, I think I've said this already in another video, I really, really like the entrepreneur, saver, and the streamer. I think my streamer gameplay did, or my streamer guide didn't get the most views. It might just have to do with the thumbnail or something, right? Or some other reason. But I do think the streamer is very fun to play. Also, I'm going to go ahead and lock the alloy. Get another shotgun, great, and a gentle alien out there as well. But yeah, the streamer, super fun to play. Entrepreneur, also super fun to play. And the saver. Basically, all the characters that make a ton of money. Aside from that, I also really, really enjoy the characters that have a lot of damage percent stacking. Also, I'm just kind of AFK because there's not much to do. As you can see, the soldier is very, very strong. Incredibly strong character, actually. Especially if you start with these shotguns like I'm doing here. Also, like I said, I do have small delays sometimes. If I don't move for like seconds or so, and I try to move suddenly, it just delays the movement. That's why it looks like I'm moving really slow or reacting slowly. I'm not. I'm actually reacting very early, but it just takes a moment to actually move me. But yeah, I'm really curious which characters you guys like, if you've seen my other character guides. Because even though they are guides and they're supposed to be very educational, I also think that a lot of them are really fun, and I tried to make them fun. So yeah, please let me know. Also, we are going to take the boxing glove, get even more knockback. We currently have 8 knockback, plus our shotguns actually come originally or on their own. So 26 knockback on our shotguns, very nice. I'm going to reroll one time. And a chameleon, we can get a bunch of dodge. Actually not bad. Pretty decent. We do lose damage percent. I'm actually going to go in and skip it. And it may seem weird, but I think it's better to just go glass cannon with this character. Especially since we already have negative 3% dodge. And the chameleon is expensive. If we go for the chameleon, we're going to be forced to kind of take more dodge. Which means we're investing more stats into something that isn't range damage or damage percent or crit chance. Of course, we could also take some attack speed. But we do get a lot of attack speed from standing still. That's part of our passive. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to be educational about currently. That's why I'm just kind of talking about other characters and such. Talking a little bit about other random things. I shouldn't have moved to pick up materials, actually. That was technically a mistake. Moving is actually kind of a mistake, right? But I did want to pick up as many materials as possible. That's why I'm moving so much here. And that's the end of the wave. There we go. I managed to get pretty much all the materials. We only have 8 bagged materials. Okay, we actually managed to get 9% dodge right after skipping the chameleon. I still really just want to skip this, I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather just go glass cannon. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know what? We'll take some armor and crit chance. There we go. Thank you so much. That's what I wanted. Gentle alien is great. More enemies means we get more materials and XP, and we get damage percent. Lure is great. Can drop some loot for us. Another shotgun upgrade. Honey is okay, but it's really expensive for just 3 range damage, basically. And we also lose. We don't really lose other bad stats, but I'd rather just find other items. Take the lens. The lens is great. Take the lens. Honestly, the honey is probably worth it, but it just gives me a bad feeling, so I didn't really want to take it. And we're gonna go ahead and take the scar. Scar is not bad. We do lose a tiny bit of range, but the XP gain is kind of worth it in my opinion. Cycling machine is also very nice. Get more materials from dropped loot crates, right? The loot crates drop items. We can recycle them for even more material. And I mostly just want to sit still again. We are dealing 33 damage with our tier 2 shotguns are dealing 33 per hit, 66 when they crit, and the other ones are dealing 27 per hit. Pretty good damage, right? Very good damage. And all we need to do is sit still. And since the shotguns do have some innate knockback, it's pretty much impossible for any enemy to get really close to us. Of course it happened there, because enemies, this is wave 10, enemies spawn from all directions, so they don't only come at you from one side, or like in groups, they come from everywhere, right? That is why we are getting hit a bit, because our shotgun's attack speed is a little too low to keep up with that. Trying to move to pick things up here. Okay, I put myself in a lot of danger. You really shouldn't move until the very end of the wave. That way you can avoid taking too much damage and just randomly dying. Could have happened there, for example. Armor is great. It's definitely better than speed here. Max HP. Sure, we'll take a little bit, but I really want... Yeah, some more attack speed is great. Damage percent. Damage percent. Damage percent. A shotgun upgrade. Great. Don't actually want speed. And I also don't want to lose crit chance. Plus, I don't care too much for max HP and armor. I'm gonna go and skip the metal here. And we get another shotgun. It's wave 10 and we only just got our first tier 3 shotgun. You could be doing much better than me. It hits for 32 per hit, and if it crits, double damage. Really, really nice. Plus an ugly tooth. This is really good on us. The ugly tooth and nail. I always mention these 2 items on a lot of characters. It's even better on us than other characters. Also, taking lampreys in this wave was a bit crazy. I feel pretty safe. If you didn't have baits, you wouldn't have to worry about any of this, really. You do have to move a bit. Yeah, I kind of got hit by that. I don't think that was fair. But, yeah, it's fine, right? You see, this is where knockback comes in handy. Knockback keeps all these pursuers from getting near us. And pretty much, yeah, I mean, just keeps us everything at a really far distance away from us. We were versus the monk, which I will say is a bit lucky. I promise this isn't scripted. I didn't pay the monk to show up. But the monk is a bit easy for us because he doesn't really hit you that much. He only does phase 2 projectile shoots, shooting at you, a few projectiles. And then in phase 3 you saw he was doing the circle, but that pretty much does nothing because you actually want to stand still. And the circle encircles you, it doesn't actually try to target you directly. Yeah, I can just sit here now and relax. Very simple. We don't really need that. We actually have a lot of damage percent. Damage percent. Okay, speaking of damage percent, we got some. Thank you. Dangerous Bunny is just, you know, free materials, basically. Gentle Alien, same thing. Damage percent, and it gives us more materials back. And the fertilizer is not bad. It will pay for itself. Double barrel shotgun upgrade and insanity. We could also take the Triangle of Power. I skipped this on so many characters because I don't think it's very good, if I'm being honest. I just don't really respect it that much as an item, so I'm actually going to skip it here as well. But you could take it on the soldier. I just don't think it's very good, personally. So I am going to go ahead and skip it. Could take the wheelbarrow. Pretty early, we only have an armor. You know what, let's go ahead and do it. We'll make the investment. Get a bit of harvesting. It also gives us XP. So it doesn't just pay itself off in materials, it also does give us XP. Big deal. And we are now on wave 12. Wave 12 is pretty simple. Not really much to do or say here. We just stand in the center of the map. It's pretty much soldier gameplay. I mean, he is designed to be able to stand still pretty much, which is possible. Even on difficulty 5, I feel like you can stand still most of the time, as you see. It was only versus the boss, right? And certain waves in the early game where I couldn't really stand still. But yeah, otherwise, we are very relaxed. We actually use a bit more range, where our bullets can go farther enough to hit more enemies. We're kind of wasting a lot of damage here. We don't have the range. I should move in a moment. I need to pick everything up here. Kind of satisfying, right? All the materials at the end. We didn't kill everyone because we did move to pick things up, but sometimes you have to make that decision, right? And more range exactly when I mentioned it. Thank you so much. Plus a small magazine. This is really good. Losing damage percent is not a big deal. Attack speed means we get to knock back enemies more often. Just more range damage, right? Great. We're currently dealing 35. Will put us at 36, so it does still boost our damage a tiny bit. We don't want to take Power Generator, because we don't actually care about boosting our on this character. Silver Bullet, on the other hand, is amazing. That and Allure gives us more loot, which means we get more loot rates. Now we're at wave 13, right? Very simple, just sitting still again. And of course, you can use other weapons. Hey guys, just because I start with the double shotgun and I recommend it, doesn't mean you only have to use this, or I think it is or the weapon in the game. I just think if I had to choose a starting weapon, that is the easiest to use, and I think will give you the highest chance to win without much practice even. And once you get more practice, it's even easier, right? But yeah, I would say it's the shotgun. Incredible knockback, has piercing built in, very high base damage. You can benefit more from attack speed because it has such a long or such a slow attack speed by default. Well, attack speed ends up giving it more value since you get to get more shots off. And then it also has a lot of innate knockback, which means that you can keep enemies really far away from you. So the more range we have, the more that is going to be true, right? It'll be to keep enemies away from us. Attack speed, range, and we lose armor. Sure, why not? One of the few times I'd say the Gummy Berserker is actually quite good. We're going to take more range here, and a statue. Great. So statue is actually pretty good on us. We can stand still, we get 40% more attack speed. We're already doing that because of our passive, right? So that'll just go to 90%. Very, very nice. And alert. And another shotgun upgrade. Amazing. This is not scripted, right? You saw the early game. We actually got pretty unlucky with a lot of upgrades. We didn't really find any shotguns early on. It was like, I'd say it was slightly unlucky, super unlucky or anything. But now this is pretty much average at this point. And yeah, we managed to catch up. We have a lot of tier 3 shotguns. We have a ton of range, a bunch of attack speed and damage percent. All of our stats are looking really good right now. And we even managed to find a statue, right? Which is one of Soldier's favorite items. Which, it's interesting because I'd say pretty much only the Soldier really likes the statue. There's also the barricade. I forgot the nifty. Basically gives you 8 armor when you stand still. That's also pretty good on the Soldier, but mostly because it's not that good on many characters in general. Since you actually don't want to be standing still, that's a bit of an issue. Okay, I tried to pick up materials, so I put myself in danger there. I should just sit still and let the wave go on. More damage percent is actually I'm gonna go ahead and take that. And then range damage +2. We do lose speed. It doesn't matter. Speed's not important. Engine isn't that useful either, but it doesn't matter. We just care about that damage percent. A Bean Teacher. I still think it's early enough to take this. It's wave 15. We'll get it on wave 16. Too bad. And last wave was a horde, so that's why there were so many enemies. Safest thing I could have done was just not move at all. Of course, it makes it difficult because you want to pick up hard materials. But you just kind of have to time it and wait for the right moment. If there's no moment, then just don't do it. You can get yourself killed. It's completely fine, right? You can always pick up the materials on the next wave. And I think I mentioned this a lot as well, but or definitely a few times throughout this guide series, but materials will not disappear. So you're not losing materials. They actually stack up because there's a limit to how many materials can be on the ground at one moment, at any given moment. And I believe the limit is 60, if I'm not mistaken, or if it hasn't been changed. The limit is 60. So you see all these materials, when more materials drop, they actually add up So you look at the top left, we just got like 400, 500 materials, even though we only picked up 60. That's just because it's how it works, that's how it's coded. We can take, hopefully, some more damage now. Okay, range damage, there we go. And then crit chance and a bean teacher, I'm not too mad about that. Perfectly fine. Hunting trophy. A little late for this, it might not actually get value. If we can get it on next shop, it will end up paying. I'm gonna go ahead and lock it. And that's because we have 30% crit chance. So we are critting a decent amount of the time. Also, we personally, again, been the most lucky this round. I think it's pretty decent. It's nothing crazy. But you can get pickup range. And pickup range is actually pretty good. Because as you see here, certain waves, it's very difficult to move into things up. Even with our massive pickup range. You see this like empty area around us? This is mostly where our pickup range is, right? But we have to move to pick up the things outside of it. So it's a little awkward for us. Because we don't want to move, because if we move, we stop dealing damage. And the later you get in the waves, the harder it becomes. Ooh. You actually do like pickup range on this character. So the alien tongue, for example, tier 1 item gives 30% pickup range. It's pretty good. But we are going to go in and try to pick these up. There we go. We still have 350 bagged materials we haven't gotten yet. We're missing a lot of our materials. I think damage percent, actually range damage is probably still better, since we have so much damage percent to start. Our chance is great, and the hunting trophy. And take that. 10% attack speed, great. Anything else? Pickup range and a double barrel shotgun upgrade. So there we go, we finally got a little bit more pickup range, and it gives knockback, which you actually like. Character. Here we go as well, the little frog. 20% more pickup range. We're currently sitting at 230. I'll actually take that just for the pickup range. Oh, we are against the, this is the, oh my goodness, okay. We're against the mother. Okay, I had to do some stutter stepping here to make sure I'm not getting hit by the slashes. I got hit a few more times because I kind of, too busy talking to actually play the game for a moment. But now we are completely fine. And something you can do is actually just sit in the corner in this character. Most characters are not allowed to do this. We're kind of allowed to do this. It actually gives our shotguns a bit more value and makes it safer for us to some extent. It definitely depends, but you can do this a lot of times. Just sit in the corner, and that way your materials will actually be easier to get at the end of the wave as well. You see I get hit for 20. So a bit of armor would do us some good here. We're very squishy without any armor. Be careful. I'm gonna move out of the corner here a bit. Try to pick up as much as possible. There we go. So now we only have 176 bag materials. I had to be quiet at the start, right? Because I was talking too much. I hit a few times by the boss, and I was like, oh, whoops. Let me make sure I don't end the video preemptively. That would be awkward, right? But yeah, now we have the panda, bunch of luck, and max health. It's actually pretty good because we have plenty of damage. As well lose a little bit to get a bit safer. Chance is great. I did say we could take armor, but I'm obviously taking crit chance over it. With reinforced steel for more range damage. What else? Not really. We do have a shotgun here. A fertilizer. A little late for the fertilizer. I don't think it's soon enough. Late for that. And we lose range, but we gain damage. But then Baby Gecko gives us back to range. Bad. More crit chance, of course. We can also take the tree. Okay. And then we just get to stand still again and do soldier things. Very simple. How much is our tier 4 shotgun hitting for? Is it 148? 138, 148 on the side there. Not sure. But you can see we're doing a lot of damage and we're standing still. That is how you play the soldier. This run is pretty much over. If you're curious about anything, you have any questions or anything about the run, or just really anything I talked about, or just, you know, whatever you want to ask, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And also, yeah, if you liked the video, or if you watched till this point, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe. I didn't do much, I kind of just sat still on the soldier and talked for, you know, however long this video is. But I would still appreciate it. And we're almost done. And that's it. enough. Wave 18. We didn't even really have to move. Let's look for more damage. Stats. There we go. Attack speed. Perfect. Can I get a tier 3? Okay, range. Perfect. Oh, actually got towards the very end. Give us 2 loot crates, and we have the recycling machine. So this is definitely worth taking. Plus the lost duck, also pretty good. Cool. More range damage. More ranged damage here. But yeah, we've gotten past all the difficult parts of the run. The only part where I was even remotely really endangered is because I was trying to be greedy, pick up materials, right? So you can obviously just not do that. And then the other point was when I was just kind of talking too much versus the mother. I was trying to explain what she did, but in the process I got hit like 3 times consecutively. So pretty much right. Phase 1 she just kind of runs at you, so you can kind of just stutter step like this. And you will pretty much still get the full effect of your bonus if you just stutter step. And this way you can kind of dodge things as well. But it's not really necessary unless you're against a boss. And pretty much only against bosses which like to run at you or charge at you. This is also very helpful for picking up heroes, of course. You're right. Moving around, getting all the heroes, and I still get to shoot. Taking little stutter steps over and over. And that's it. Okay, perfect. Sure. No. Sure, we'll lose a little bit of armor. We should probably get more back, but it's okay. We can get some crit chance, and in the banner, since knockback doesn't do anything against bosses, the banner is pretty good. Another upgrade for our shotguns. Another upgrade for our shotguns. Pickup range, we don't need that for the final boss, of course. Attack range, we can take. One final reroll, and that's it. We are broke. That's 0. So, you see here we have 8 base damage on these tier 4 shotguns. 3 on the team. I'm going to do this. This boss is going to charge at us, so we do want to move out of the way. Careful, he is already phased because we deal so much damage. This boss is going to run away in a second, the Invoker. And he's dead. That's the run. Hope you guys enjoyed. I already said everything I needed to say. Next time, we will be playing the Masochist. So I hope you guys come and watch that. He's also an interesting character. But yeah, I will see you guys then, okay? Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.